So my name, this is makeup and fro. So more fro than makeup. I don't have any makeup on today, but and I wanted to come initially. I really wanted my first video. Let me hurry up. I really wanted my first video. I wanted to come on here a little bit more dolled up. I wanted to come on here a little bit more dolled up, a little bit more put together, especially for like your first video of your YouTube channel. But and not only that, I really wanted to I was kind of torn between, did I want to show my face? Did I want to do this more like a podcast style? You have to excuse me, I don't have my setup is okay, that'll work. And I left my pen. So I'm coming from work. But really what I wanted to talk about today, so I didn't know if I wanted this to be like podcast style. I didn't know if I wanted to like show my face. It was kind of like, ooh, do I want to show my face? Because, some of the things I'm going to be talking about, people may put two and two together and realize, oh, she may be talking about me. But you know what? I don't care, because this is my truth, and as my grandma and them used to say, a hit dog will holler. So I'm gonna just get into it. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is kind of friendship, especially when it comes to friendships in terms of coworkers. I do have another story where I was actually under spiritual attack back in 2016. And that just shows you how long I've been sitting on this. And a lot of this has been on my mind for the last, I'd say, year. Where it's just really been on my mind, and I'm kind of moved, I think, in my spirit, on my heart, to really talk about it, because I feel like it's somebody out there. And take my glasses off a little bit. That is somebody out there who may really need to hear this message. And two, I've kind of noticed in this YouTube space, maybe I'm missing some people, but I feel like when it comes to, black women in the corporate space, I classify myself as a nerd. That's a nerd that's socially awkward. I'm introverted, not shy. That's a big difference. Who has interest and who's an outlier in the community, as to speak, who may have a STEM degree. I'm not saying you got to have a degree in the STEM field. My degree is in chemistry. To, be nerd. It's just anybody who's in this community, black woman or non-black people, who may resonate with a lot of the message and the content on this channel. But I do say, please provide feedback if it's something I do want to do reviews, so I probably will be doing book reviews, movie reviews, and just giving my perspective. Without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and get into the topic. So mainly what I'm going to discuss today is, I'm not going to call any names, it's just co-workers as friends. My main thing would be, don't do it. Co-workers are not your friends. Let me start there, and then let me work backwards. I had to find this out the hard way at a previous job that I was working. And so I think I came into the job vulnerable already, because this was literally months after I had just gone through this huge ordeal where I was being spiritually attacked. And like I said, I'm gonna get into that in a separate video, because it was some heavy shit. And I get if you don't believe in voodoo, witchcraft, root work, as we say down south, I would advise you to rethink that, because all that really is energy, and people can send negative energy your way. This person actually sent like a spirit, but like I said, I'm gonna get in that in a separate video and really unpack that. Now back to the co-workers as friends at this job, at this previous job. I was working, this was like one of my first kind of real jobs, and I met other women, black women similar to myself, who had STEM degrees, and I'm like, okay, wow, these seem like some really good, like, fun girls to hang with. Yeah, I'm like, and not only that, now that I sat back and really went back and processed it, one, the red flags were there. Two, I was looking for some sort of validation that after the incident happened with the friend that was doing the root work that sent that energy to me, I was really looking for validation that it's not you, that it wasn't me, that you are friendable, you can have friends, you're somebody that people want to be friends with. And that kind of, that insecurity, or kind of that searching, that seeking, really and truly, it really and truly led me to tolerate a lot of things that I should not have tolerated. That, letting people talk to me any kind of way. And like I said, I give examples and kind of work my way back. Just back to kind of what led up to that. Because like I said, it may seem that this is a bit sporadic, but everything is just kind of hitting me, and I'm kind of trying to articulate it, because like I said, I'm driving, so I didn't do notes. Like, I feel like maybe I should have had just some bullet points, but I feel like it's a little bit more organic if I'm just sitting, driving, talking to you guys. So it started out cool, and like I say, I was really just in the shadow of this other person, because really, hey, this is my first couple of weeks there, so I'm really trying to learn the job. So I'm shadowing this girl, and as I'm shadowing her and we talking, we got kind of the same sense of humor. I'm big into astrology, so our astrology signs, I'm like, oh shoot, she's an Aries, and shit, I'm an Aquarius. Yes, we in harmony and all this shit. So I'm like, okay, yes, we might have me a little buddy here. And she's into some of the same things that I'm into in terms of writing and whatnot. So I'm like, okay. Everything was good, or at least from what I observed, everything was good for the first year, almost 2 years, I would say. Then once, she got sick and she was out, and I stepped in. And the thing is, I'm the type of person, you don't have to tell me. I watch, and based on what you do, and I watch the mistakes, so I see where it's like, okay, you could have did that a little bit better. When I do it, I avoid that and I improve upon that. That's just me. That's just a habit. I'm adaptable. And so when she came back, like I said, now that I've had time to sit and process everything, I'm like, okay, I've noticed a shift in you, or in her at the time. Okay. Fast forward. It's just little things. Me, it would be me. I'm gonna call her Terry, Monica, Sandra. So me, Terry, Monica, and Sandra, was kind of close. We go out, hang out. Now, Sandra was married, so she had children, so she couldn't really hang out much, but the other two of us would hang out, drink, margaritas like every other night. Like, we chilling, we hanging, and I'm like, oh, okay, we close and whatnot. And like I said, I don't know exactly where the pivot was. Like I said, I've tried to find that shift, But you know what? I think what it was always there, especially with, I'm gonna say with Terry, and these are aliases. Like I said, I'm not giving real names. It was I really started to pick up and really started to kind of recognize when it came to me, she always had a little bit of an edge when she would speak to me. You know how you kind of talk down to somebody like you think they're stupid. So it was kind of that. I would get that, and then it just kind of just a little snappy little remarks, like we sitting around having a conversation and just snippy, say little shady stuff. And it's like, and me, oh, we cool, we friends, that's how she is, and I ended up asking Sandra one day. I said, Terry comes across as if she don't really like me. I'm like, what's going on? Has something been said that I say? Because I know sometimes I have a vulgar sense of humor. Sometimes I like to be silly. I'm like, well, maybe I said something that was a little off color. I said, I'm like, did I say something or maybe do something? Or do she think maybe I stepped on her toes with something? I'm like, if so, tell me. I mean, we're friends. I can take it. I do want to, if it's something that I've done, I mean, I would like to apologize for it or talk to her or something. And Sandra's thing was, because even Terry and Sandra kind of had, their relationship was kind of rough as if I need you for work, they weren't that close either. And so Sandra was like, yeah, she's like that with everybody. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, okay. And something came to me and said, watch her. So we in a group, because Sandra also made the statement, yeah, she's also like that with Greg. Yeah, she's also like that. I just say Malcolm. She's also like that with Malcolm. I said, okay, all right. She's like that with everybody. Okay, so I think it was maybe a week later or whatever. I'm standing in the circle. I said something. I walked over there to ask Sandra a question, work related, and I'm looking at Terry, because one thing I am, and it's a blessing and a curse, is I'm very observant. So I'm watching the body language, and you know how somebody comes around, or you come around somebody, and they hold demeanor change, and they just freeze up, like they don't want you over there. That's how it came across. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand here. And I will admit, I am a tad bit antagonistic in a passive aggressive way. I will admit it. If I know you don't like me, then sometimes I'm better at it now of not doing it. But I will kind of come around you on purpose. That's why I say, don't let me know you don't like me. That used to be the petty me. Now at 31, it's like, what, you don't like me, okay? Especially if we're in a work environment, I come to you, bitch, give me what I need, and then I'm gonna be out your hair, and I want you to stay out mine, unless you need work related, and I'm the last resource. Then holler at me. So wearing more sunscreen anyway. So, and I watched, and I said, okay, she's just like that with me. And so I recognized that and accepted that. Okay. I started slowly distancing myself, just very slowly. Like I kind of cut back on the going out to eat with them, the drinking, the hanging around, talking. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just get back to myself. So I think what may have kind of been another straw on the camel's back, I won't say it actually broke the camel's back, but it was definitely, I feel like a catalyst for a lot of my mood and attitude. As we were just sitting in the conference room, and we had been going over documents and stuff all day long. I'm talking about, I had got there at 7:30. I just went straight in there because we had to get the documentation together. And ooh, you have to excuse me. So okay. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back. So, we're sitting there and, it's approaching lunchtime. It's like 11 o'clock, 11:15. And, the two is Terry and Monica. The two of them are talking back and forth with each other. Like, yeah, where you want to go to lunch? Yeah, it's this new place, yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting there, even though I had brought my lunch, and I'm sitting there just like, and I'm flipping through the papers, and I'm waiting at some point for somebody to go, oh, hey, you wanna roll with us? Because all of us supposed to be friends, right? So I'm like, okay. So I kindly got up. I think I told them have a good lunch, or maybe I just got up and walked out. I don't remember exactly. I think I said, oh, all right, y'all have a good lunch or something. And then I just walked out and went to the fridge, got my lunch, went to my desk, popped on Netflix, put my headphones in, and had me a jolly good time. And so that's just kind of in a nutshell. And it was just a lot more incidents where I've noticed like a change in people. And so what I started doing for myself and my own protection was I really started kind of retreating into myself. And I'm like, you know what? And it's a lot of things that I noticed that I stopped doing, I stopped talking about, because nobody in the group were into these things. And so I thought, okay, I gotta conform or suppress pieces of myself so I can be friends and have friends and prove to myself that no, you're not this unlikable weirdo who's not gonna have any friends, and at a point it almost really had me feeling like high school again, where it was just kind of that outcast mentality, and even at that point I was tired of the job. I was sick of the job. Like, I was burnt out. I was sick of the people, and so you know what? And I'm not sighing because it's tough. I'm sighing because we have a tendency, you could have been dead that. That's how people get shot. But anyway, somebody passed too close, of course, dummies. And it's like, we suppress pieces of ourselves in order to feel like, okay, we got to fit into this group of people, therefore I have to give something up of myself that they may not accept. And now I said, you know what, let me get back to myself. And not only that, the red flags were there. They were there. And they had been there for a very, very long time. One of the things I noticed with Monica, me and her, I felt like were the closest. Some of the things she shared with me were very extremely personal. Extremely personal. Like, this is like shit you may tell somebody on your deathbed, or you may say in confessional to a priest. Right? So I said, okay, wow. And then for you to kind of just flip like that, it was kind of like, okay, well, maybe she was never your friend in the beginning. You were a dumping ground. You were an emotional catch pan for her. When she needed a good cry, there you was to alleviate her emotional pain at the moment. And then when she no longer had any use for you, as my mama said, she'd give you 2 handfuls of her ass to kiss. And looking back, that's what happened. And like I said, people don't necessarily have to use you. You don't have to be used like for sex or for money. People can really use you, especially if you're I'm an empath. I feel other people's energy. It's easy for me to be empathetic with people and sympathetic. And I think when you have people who are emotionally traumatized and who like to relive the trauma, or who like to share the trauma and dump the trauma, they find you. And I think that's really what happened with me and Monica is, here's somebody who's listening, let me just dump everything on them. And then when I'm done having my free counseling session, you can fuck off. I'm gonna go over here with the hot girls, and we're gonna have a good time. And like I said, the red flags were there. I don't even think they were flags at that point. I think they were big red banners, like Handmaid's Tale style, honey, like Gilead banners falling down. And I ignored it because that's my friend. And the little snide, little shady comments. Oh, them my girls. We having a good time. We drinking. We we kikiing. And at the time, at the end of all of that, once I came to the realization that these people are not your friends, they're just coworkers. At a bit, you feel used. You feel played. I felt like a lot of the times that we were together and we were laughing and hanging out, I almost feel like I was the butt of the joke, and I didn't know it. So I would say, and I think now it's taken a couple of years, especially after my illness, at the end of last year, that also, if anything, snatched back the wool off of my eyes, honey, and slapped those them half moon rose tinted glasses, because I didn't have a full set of rose tinted glasses on, but I definitely had something, obscuring my vision, and seeing that people will only use you for what they can get from you. And once they use you up or you die, it just is what it is. It's just it just is what it is. And like I said, I'm only accepting now healthy friendships. I'm only accepting and I'm starting to create boundaries. And now I think people are even, I've noticed are like standoffish. I don't know if they don't know how to approach me, but after my illness, I'm like, what, it's time for you to set some kind of boundaries with people. And if they don't want to abide by the boundary, they can leave, or I can leave. And that's fine. But one thing that I've really started doing, and I got this from it's a quote from Jordan Peterson. I was listening to one of his videos. Be quiet, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here. Be quiet, sit back and listen. People will tell you who they are. And that's the thing. These friends were telling me who they are. I just wasn't listening. So if you find yourself in a situation, and not only that, I hope I don't get emotional. I don't want to get emotional. But what really, I think, really spurred all of this for me, and kind of just reminiscing and just nostalgia and kind of trying to go, wow, that maybe that could have been me, was the whole Shanquella Robinson incident. Not many things have disturbed me, but that really bothered me in my spirit right there. That really did. It bothered me, and it still does. It still does. So I guess my takeaways would be, excuse me, would be assess your friends. We are literally halfway through 2023. If you still fooling around with these janky friends, it's time to cut them loose. And also do the work. Figure out, what is it about me that I keep attracting these relationships, I keep gravitating toward these relationships, and I keep tolerating these relationships. And I think that's the piece. And I think it was a large part due to my low self-esteem. And I don't, well, some women have the low self-esteem and they like get into relationships with men. I'm kind of the opposite. At least I feel like I have enough sense, or my subconscious or my body has enough sense to go, your self-esteem is not where it needs to be, so you need to stay away from men. And I think a large part of that comes too from thinking that, oh, well, women are softer, a woman won't do you, this way because there's no sexual component. So you feel like, oh, well, you're a little bit safer, your heart is a little bit safer. Bullshit. Friends can hurt you, and that shit feel like a death. Okay? And that's what I'm gonna get into in another video about the one who sent the spiritual attack. That shit cut me to my core. It really did. And I think now I've dealt with it. I feel like I've processed it, but I feel like it's on my spirit to tell it for some reason. And so I'm gonna stop ignoring my spirit out of kind of fear that, oh my God, I don't want people to know. Maybe somebody does need to know, and maybe that's why it's been thumping at me like this for literally a year. But that's it for now, because this video is getting a little bit lengthy, and the subsequent videos I will definitely try to keep them short. I ain't gonna lie to you, you probably will get quite a few more videos from my car, just really until I get my setup going. Once I kind of get my setup and get things where I want to be, I'll probably do a little bit more with, like, the background. I throw some makeup on or something. But right now, that's it. Know who your friends are, because right now, 2023, time is winding on down. So it's time to stop being fools in order to get friends. Stop being a fool for a friend. And go ahead and assess your friendships and cut some of that baggage loose. So thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more, please subscribe. So thank you. Peace.